So this is our time for all ages, and I found some really fun questions on BBC Radio. What? Oh, Whimsy wants to help. This is Whimsy. You may not have seen Whimsy for quite a while. One of my favorite companions in my office who's been a bit lonely lately. But, oh, okay. Whimsy wants to ask these questions. Again, these are from BBC Radio, so it's from a British perspective sense of humor. So, the first question I found was, what was the best birthday party I ever had? Best birthday party I ever had. Wow, that's a tough one. I had some friends when I was, probably in the 6th grade, give me a surprise birthday party. I still remember that. My mother was in on it and everything, and they were all there, and I had no idea. I think that was probably one of my favorites. And then there was another one as an adult where I got to go skiing in Colorado on my birthday. That was pretty awesome too. So can I have 2 favorite birthdays? Okay, all right. And what was that? Okay. Have I ever peed in a swimming pool? Have I ever peed in a swimming pool? How could you ask such a thing? Oh, it wasn't you, it was the children in England. All right, have I ever peed in a swimming pool? No, not a swimming pool. Never a swimming pool. No, we shouldn't pee in a swimming pool. Just don't ask me about the ocean. What was your last weird thought? My last weird thought. Oh, I was thinking how awesome it would be if all the kids were running around here in the chapel along with a whole bunch of dragons. That's what I thought. Yeah, that was my last weird thought. I'm on to new weird thoughts now. What was it? Which superhero would you like to be? Which superhero would I like to be? Oh, that's easy. Wonder Woman. Yeah. Grows up on a wonderful, incredible island. It's beautiful, and she gets to work out in all her days, and she gets to go to school all the time, and she's this powerful. Yeah, Wonder Woman. Absolutely. Wonder Woman. Do I ever sing in the shower? Of course I sing in the shower. I sing all the time. What do I sing? Oh, Beatles songs. Yeah, lots of Beatles songs and some hymns, some of my favorite hymns. Okay, what's the next one? What's the naughtiest thing I did at work? Such a question. What's the naughtiest thing I've ever done at work? Well, we made a pig fly in worship service. That wasn't naughty? Oh, okay. Well, many, many years ago, not at this church, at another church, so it doesn't matter if it's at another church. I was told I needed to pick up some toilet paper on the way home from work, and I was getting to home, ready to leave, and I didn't want to go to the grocery store. It was in the opposite direction of home, and I was tired, so I grabbed a couple of rolls of toilet paper out of the church closet. Yeah, I did. Oh, well, I hope they forgive me, but all right. How much money, do I have in my wallet? How much money are you going to steal my wallet? No, I shouldn't. How much, okay. I'm pretty sure I have no cash whatsoever. I spent the last of it giving a tip to somebody, but I have some coins. It's probably less than $1. That's all I know. Oh, no. Oh, you wanted me to take you out for lunch after service. Sorry. If I had to listen to one song for the rest of my life, what would it be? One song for the rest of my life. Well, I'm thinking a long one. How about, that's a tough one. I'm gonna go with Beethoven's Ninth. Yep, Beethoven's Ninth, nice and long. Or wait a minute, there's some other ones. I really like Mussorgsky's Pictures at an Exhibition. Oh, this is too tough. All right, we're just gonna keep going on that one. That's hard. How did I get into the screen? You mean this screen right here? This screen? How did I get in there? And you're in there too. Oh, there's a little door behind this box, behind the computer. I just climb in there. And kids at home, don't go climbing behind the computer, not without your parents, but it's a little door that I climb right in. What snack would I like to be? What snack? I think I would like to be my favorite snack, guacamole. Guacamole and chips, yeah. And Do I like goldfish more than humans? Do I like goldfish more than humans? Oh my goodness. I like all life. We're guided by a seventh principle, interdependent web of life. I like all life. Do I like goldfish more than humans? Some humans, but no, I didn't say that out loud. No, I think I prefer humans. I don't even have any goldfish. And that's that. All right, well, thank you, Whimsy, for your help. See you guys later. See you guys later. We're gonna go back and she's gonna stare at me now. She's staring at me right now. You could see, yeah, she's waiting for me to take her to lunch. Geez, Louise. So we're gonna switch now to our offertory. And we have a new organization. I don't think we've supported them, but Mount Vernon Unitarian Church continues to share the plate with all sorts of incredible committed organizations that you, our members, have chosen. And I think this is a first one. For the rest of August, we are giving to Project ID plus Spread the vote. It's more often called Project ID. They have a dual mission, nonpartisan voter education. That's important in helping Virginia residents obtain or replace their voting IDs. The Alexandria Springfield chapter has just 8 to 12 volunteer members, focusing primarily on helping the homeless or low-income people and seniors living in Northern Virginia. The Project ID works with a number of our local service providers in partnership. And in the 3 years since the Alexandria Springfield chapter was founded, they have gotten more than 450 IDs, plus related documents for Virginia residents. And I think we all know that getting a Virginia ID may require obtaining a number of official documents and some prohibitive costs. But Project ID helps find the documents and pays the fees to get these vital records in a timely manner. And during the pandemic, the Department of Motor Vehicles in Richmond has been able to process some ID applications for their clients, but they are expecting a big flood of deferred applications once the shutdown ends. So wonderful organization. Now I invite you, our gathered community, to offer whatever you are most comfortable with in your spirit and your financial generosity for the mission of our church community, as well as our Project ID. And if you would like to write or mail a check for the offering, that's great. Put it in the mail. We need to support our United States Postal Service right now, and it'll get to the church office. Make it out to MVUC with the memo line indicating how you would like to be used. Otherwise, everything is shared 50-50. You can also follow the link that'll be in the chat box to make a one-time or recurring payment. During this time of music, I want to invite you to please tenderly name in the chat box or in your heart all those joys and sorrows that you hold within your soul, within your mind, and within your heart. Let us listen to this beautiful music. I invite you now into a time of personal prayer, of meditation. And I'll invite you into a little bit of deep breathing. I've been talking a lot about that in my pastoral care. Just a deep breath from your belly. Spirit of life, Spirit of love, come into our bodies. Fill us with a stillness. Bring down any worry or anxiety or fear. Let it rest quietly. Spirit of love, fill our hearts with your presence. Remind us that we are loved more deeply than we can ever comprehend. Spirit of justice, remind us of the need to speak words of love and compassion, to write, to call, to act in the pursuit of our common good and greater well-being for all people. In our lives right now, let us take the time to breathe deeply, to remind us of the essence of life and love, and then remind us that we have the power to enact change in this world, the very change that we seek. We work individually, and we work as a community, each voice coming together as one. Each of us carries our pain, our loneliness, and yet this morning we chose to be together, to connect, to see and feel one another in our presence again. We are a community, a place of love, a place that creates justice, a place where we live and sing and pray and laugh. May it be so. Blessed be, and amen. Wow, Yvonne. Jeez, that is stunning. I'm looking at your piano right now and I'm picturing you there and saying thank you. Thank you. So I have to say I took a quick look at some of the questions, not all of them, because I like the spontaneity and surprise. So they're not easy this year. Nobody asked me just simple questions like my favorite kind of tea or where'd I go on vacation or anything like that. Nope, we're diving in deep this time, folks. So the first one, as we have been talking in our household with the people we interact with, we have wondered, how do you forgive the people who have not taken the coronavirus seriously? One day we will hopefully be able to interact with people normally again. How do we forgive the people who acted in a way that appears to us to be irresponsible and made the pandemic last longer? I know this is on a lot of people's hearts, and I've seen this conversation on Facebook and the news as well. It is a big question. And I want to return to a message that came from Mike Walker in his service a couple weeks ago, and he invited us into curiosity. And it's easy to just be judgmental and angry, absolutely. And there is a lot of value in the anger and the judgment, less so, but the curiosity. So if we know somebody, invite them into a conversation about what's going on. I also invite people to remember one of my favorite sayings is never underestimate the human capacity for denial. We are really, really good at denial and recognizing the severity of something, which is often why the house burns down while we're still wondering where that smoke is from. Denial may be playing a part, and are also a strong, strong desire to return to normalcy and the ideals of our life from day to day when we feel like we might have some semblance of control. So there's probably multiple factors going on, and I invite you into curiosity. And if that doesn't work, and I have a new image that I'm working with, if you want to take your anger into a bright, sharp, vivid image, I tested this yesterday on Facebook for people who refuse to wear face masks in public. And that is, imagine you're driving your car and your brakes go out, and you find yourself, your car is propelling into a crowd of people, and some of those people will be able to get out of their way. A few are going to be injured, minor to major, and one or two are going to die. When was the last time you checked your brakes? Because you may be brought up on murder charges. It is sharp, it is harsh, but it's real. Are we ready to take the responsibility for somebody else's health? So that's the anger piece. Balance it with curiosity, genuine conversation, dialogue. A little bit of both. Yeah, forgiveness, that's a tougher one. We've had a lot of conversation about that. With time, probably not right now, with time. Okay, next big question. How do we reconcile recognizing the inherent worth and dignity of every person with standing on the side of love against systems of injustice, oppression, and racism, and those individuals who support them? When does a priority on civility, quotes, and both sides, quotes, become a path to avoid accountability? I'm going to repeat this one so I make sure I understand it as well as you. How do we reconcile recognizing the inherent worth and dignity of every person with being on the side of love against systems of injustice and oppression and racism, and those individuals who support those systems? When does a priority on civility and both sides become a path to avoid accountability? I think because it was brought out with the question of inherent worth and dignity and side of love, I'm going to interpret this question through the lens of Unitarian Universalism. Within our movement, there is a spectrum of people. Some who are pushing hard for progressive change. They're out there in front, and they are pushing the edges. And at the end of the spectrum, you're going to have people who are still holding back and trying to understand and don't want to change. And they don't understand how in any way they could be held accountable or in any way be a participant in systems of oppression. And in this spectrum, my hope is that there's conversation and dialogue going on. Our current leader, Susan Frederick Gray, president of the UUA, is out there on the progressive side pushing hard. But I guarantee, just as previous presidents of the UUA, not everybody is supporting her, and some are going to be pushing back. I know Bill Sinkford, when he was pushing hard many years ago, felt that he had physical damage, mental and spiritual damage from people who were so angry with him, all within our own faith. It takes time, my friends. It takes time. But I am a believer that progress eventually starts to push us and propel us forward. 2 steps, 3 steps forward, sometimes 4 steps back, but then we move forward again. It is a process. But civility is balanced, I believe, even when we're out there demonstrating, and I am a strong advocate of peaceful justice making, of always being at peace, Martin Luther King way of making justice happen. I do not in any way advocate violence. MVUC, oh, next question, ready? Next question. MVUC is part of the UUA, there you go, and a broader global UU faith. Are there ways in which MVUC could be better integrated with Unitarian Universalism and our global faith community as a whole? Absolutely, absolutely. Are there better ways? Something as simple as more people attending General Assembly this year because it was virtual, we had a really nice showing. And I noted that Lynn Millett, our board chair, invited some feedback from those participants to share with the congregation. I would love to have a liaison, a volunteer, one of you, who specifically looks at what the UUA is doing and make sure it's promoted in our communication methods and keeps that stronger tie. And so if any of you are willing to be that liaison, I will work closely with you. So it's not just all on me. And that way you've got somebody who is the direct liaison on what's going on in the larger world. And keep in mind, our partner church program, wonderful Lisa Gillespie, is also one of those strong ways to keep our global faith community whole. Okay, next question. Your recent pastoral message to the conversation encouraged us to avoid overfunctioning and remember to take time during this crisis to breathe. Can you say more about the spiritual implications of living in a capitalist culture that emphasizes hyper-productivity and constant action? That is at the heart of a huge tension for each of us individually. Thank you for naming that. And I think just being aware of that tension is a huge step to not letting it control us on a subconscious level. The more we raise our awareness of this constant tension of we have to be productive and we have to be in action, that somehow we're not of value if we're not producing something, making money, or if we're just sitting and relaxing, that somehow that is not of value. And just the more awareness we have about that, and it's particularly more important right now with so much stress and so much anxiety and fear in our larger culture. So take a breathing very seriously every day. It has an enormous healing power on our bodies. Every day, throughout the day, the more we're aware of our consciousness of breathing, the more we're aware of the stress in our life. Yeah. Resist. That's what I say. Resist that need and that you are valued. I'm going to add a little bit more, making sure that you are valued no matter what you're doing. You are valued. It's your value and worth is not tied to productivity, not in any way whatsoever. Okay, next question. These are good. While baby boomers and older Gen Xers have had the opportunity and the economic system to allow for significant wealth generation and debt reduction over the course of their lifetimes, generally speaking, millennials and Generation Z have not. What are your suggestions for how this very disparate set of experiences should be addressed in terms of church finances in the years and decades ahead? Put more starkly, is debt always bad? So I'm not a financial expert. We're talking about the debt load for the younger generations, and it is significant. I'm keenly aware of my stepchildren and my grandchildren and the debt load that they're carrying from student loans. Never mind, there's zero chance that they have buying a house with that kind of debt right now. And how lucky I was to pay off my student loans within, I think, 15 years. I was pretty lucky that we were able to do that. So in terms of church, I'm aware that it's important to, I'm not a financial expert, so is debt always bad? I've been told, no, it's not always bad. It's about stretching yourself. The amount of debt and the interest rate are crucial in that variable. That's as much as I know about finances. Debt's not always bad, but how much, what your income is, and of course, what the interest rate is. And that leads to what could a church do? So I'm aware that some churches who have enough wealth of their own, independent wealth, that they have invited members who have significant, say, student loan debt in particular, or if they have particularly bad, if they have a particularly high credit card debt, both of those could be at very high rates, that they pay off those and make a arrangement with a member that they trust and know, and at a lower interest rate so that they can start to climb out of debt and they're not just paying the interest. I'm aware of some churches that are doing that, both UU and not, and it's a big step. I'm also aware that of a UU church, I think in Tennessee, that worked with not with their own members, but with a debt collection agency on student loans, that they bought those debts, paid them off. They were like pennies on the dollar, and those people were then relieved of their debt. And what a great act of social justice. I could be, if anybody's curious about that, I'd be happy to put you in touch with the church that did that. Okay. Next, many of us have become more aware of past societal transgressions, whether it be discrimination of minorities or women's rights to the Me Too movement in Hollywood. Some won't watch a Woody Allen movie, for example. Why then do we freely buy and drive German and Japanese cars? Did America get over the war atrocities inflicted on our soldiers? How did this happen? And is there a broader lesson for today's issues? And let me think, I don't know if I think these are separate questions, but maybe connected. Lawn signs that signal our values are great, but should we be doing more to foster a beloved community? I'm going to treat that as the second question. And a third, can we reconcile Black Lives Matter concerns with a large percentage of Black abortions done by Planned Parenthood and others? Oh my. So I'm going to take that first one. How do we reconcile with a history that we know in the future or present that was not our highest moment as humanity? And this is tricky. So in my view, when we know of an unjust, something that awful that happened in our past, and there is a way to reconcile, we should reconcile. If there is any way to bring that back into a right relationship, into a better balance with our integrity and our honesty and who we are as moral, ethical beings, we should try and come in right relationship. There's also a certain point when we can't. Can we ever make right with the US bombing Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Can we ever make right with the 400 years of our American history and how we treated Blacks in 200 years of issues around slavery? We can make attempts here and there, but can we ever really make it right? No, I don't think we can. But we do what we can to bring back things into reconciliation when we're able to. And we name it. We bring it to a level of truth and honesty as best we can. I think that's crucial. Naming the pain, naming what happened, and we try and our best to commit ourselves to changing policies, procedures, laws, that the injustice won't happen anymore, so that into the future we can live in right relationship. So, and it's a recognition that the Germans have done what they can to reconcile what happened in World War II, Japanese as well, and I think humanity is eager to forgive. It is something that we are compelled to do to be back in right relationship with people. So we're running out of time. I'm going to do these last two. Lawn signs that signal our values are great, but should we be doing more to foster a beloved community? Absolutely. Lawn signs is a small public step, but we need to do our own internal work, understanding how we're participants in systems of oppression and white supremacy, and continue that vocal voice out into the larger community. How can we reconcile Black Lives Matter concerns with a large percentage of Black abortions done by Planned Parenthood and others? I see this as a symptom of a larger system of oppression and injustice, financial inequity that is massively against Black women in particular who are poor. That abortions that people would rather not have shouldn't happen, but women need the choice. That is absolutely. But in terms of this question targets Black abortions done, it is a symptom. And we can't look at it just as one item. Yeah, of a larger injustice. I'm gonna take, let me see. Is there any easy one? Oh my gosh. What does it mean to be a Unitarian Universalist during a pandemic? I'm not sure it's any different than it does otherwise, other than we need to dig in deep to our faith, remind ourselves of our principles, of who we are, what we stand for, and that our commitment to the side of love always, and compassion for all, and justice for all, that if anything, during a pandemic, we dig into our faith even more, even stronger, practicing it every single day. And not alone, always, but with each other. So again, there's a few more questions which I will throw into the weekly email, but we're coming to the time of close. I love that I got lots of questions. Oh my gosh, these are not easy, folks, but I appreciate your love and your affirmation that I can handle these. I'm pitching back at you, and I'm asking you to call each other, email each other, pick up the phone, text, and say, hey, how are you? I've missed you. That is how we're gonna love each other, absolutely. So I invite you now, we're gonna sing one of my favorite hymns, We Laugh, We Cry.